Good morning, this is the Transition on Atlantic Television Network. One person has been killed by suspected violence erupted in Obele community in Emoa local government area of River State. One of the persons shot during the incident, who gave his name as Izzy, in a telephone interview with journalists, said they were in the house when a motorbike arrived and he saw two boys with guns who shot sporadically. Meanwhile, a former councillor in Port Harcourt Ward 17, Chigozie Walker, a native of Obele, whose house was attacked and destroyed by gunmen last Saturday, also accused the same nakedness of the cultists of being responsible for the attacks. In a swift reaction, Police Command confirmed the killing of OSPAC member and destruction of the councillor's house. And also, she said that they're causing untold hardship to the residents in Adabarbiri in Sabama local government area. The Kolo 2 in Obia local government area of Ikodia in Yonagoa local government area. The water level, which is increasing at the time many believed it should have been going down, has taken many people by surprise, especially as they thought the water would not rise to its present level. Technical advisor to the Governor on Environment, Chief Alagwa Morris, said though this year's flood is not at all, are also under water with no emergency services, including temporary shelters. Catholic Diocese of Auchi has declared the release of Reverend Father Thomas Oyode from his adopters. Director of Communication for Diocese, Reverend Father, at approximately 7 p.m. on Wednesday, 6 November 2024, in a village near Ajaokuta, Kogi State. This is coming after Oyode was kidnapped on 27 October 2024 when gunmen attacked the Immaculate Conception Minor Seminary in Agane Bode Esako East local government area of Edo State. While the priests and seminarians were observing their evening prayers and benediction, the bishop also takes this opportunity to call on government of district and Edo State, adding that proactive measures must be taken to ensure people can return to their normal peaceful lives in their homes, on their farms, and while traveling. Nigerian Navy Forward Operating Base Ibaka Akwa Ibom Command on Thursday at Ibaka said the suspects were arrested following an intelligence report about the activities of suspected criminals involved in crude oil theft within the Navy's area of operation. He warned individuals on groups planning to carry out any form of criminality in Nigeria waters or smuggling illegal consignments in or out of Nigeria's waters to desist immediately. Aneke reaffirmed the naval suit filed by some states in the Federation contesting the laws that establish the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. In the suit to a date it would communicate to the plaintiffs, while the Enugu State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Kingsley Ude, in an application addressed to the Supreme Court, said the decision of the state to discontinue the suit was a welcome development. The state argued that the Supreme Court in Dr. Joseph Nwobike voted into the FCC Establishment Act, and in enacting this law in 2004, the provisions of Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution as amended were followed. The plaintiffs also claimed that when bringing a convention to Nigerian law, the provision of Section 12 must be complied with, while the Constitution requires that a majority of state houses of assembly must agree to the adoption of the convention before laws like the FCC Act and others can be passed, which they claim was never done, and therefore argue that any institution established under such circumstances, government has approved a minimum wage of 80,000 naira for the state workforce. A statement by the Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dotun Oyelade, in Ibadan, the state capital, the technical committee set up by the government recommended and got approval from Governor Seyi Makinde for the implementation of the new salary scale. Oyelade recalled that only last month a federal government agency, the National Bureau of Statistics, and its latest published for 2000 rated the state as the most worker-friendly state in the whole of southern Nigeria, owing to a significant decline in the state unemployment rate following a series of high-pitched employment of workers into duties from 2008 to 2015 for pensioners, with an increase in gratuity payments for them at both the local government staff pension board and those paid by the Ministry of Establishment and Training. He said the governor also put back into the payroll pensioners whose names were removed by the immediate past administration and giving all pensioners annual Christmas and New Year chicken bonus. Of Ilobu, Osun State was announced in an ex-post on Tuesday by the president's spokesperson, Bayo Nanuga. Adeleke also directed that flags be flown at half-mast in the state during the 3-day mourning period, while in press release signed and released by the state's Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Kolapo Alimi in Oshobo, said condolence registers have been opened at the government house and the governor's office for the public to convey condolence messages to the people of Osun State. The statement described Labaja's death as devastating and a colossal loss to humanity and the nation, adding that the government is saddened by the irreparable loss of one of the glories of Osun State, and particularly condole with the Labaja family of Ilobu, the Olobu of Ilobu, and everyone. Ahead of the November 16 Ondo governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission has confirmed sensitive elections live in Akure by Tuesday, November 12th. At the pre-election meeting held in Akure, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu said all sensitive materials, including ballots and result sheets, would be delivered to the Central Bank of Nigeria's Akure branch by early next week. According to Yakubu, the election materials will be inspected by political party representatives and other stakeholders to ensure transparency before being distributed to local governments and wards across the state, stressing that INEC is committed to a well-organized and credible election process, as well as all logistical arrangements for the safe delivery and distribution of materials have been completed. INEC has also engaged security agencies to protect the sensitive materials and personnel involved in the election process, after including a mock accreditation of its bimodal voter accreditation system in select locations across Ondo State. Yakubu assured the public that INEC is a secure and transparent election. 28-year-old suspect Peter Samuel has confessed to the killing of an Okada rider, Rafiu Akal, at Okeoyi town in Ilorin East local government area of Kwara State. The incident occurred at Osunlere area of the town, and while in an interview with journalists after the suspect was paraded alongside 4 others involved in the incident by the State Police Commissioner, Victor Olaya, Peter Samuel said he used cutlass to cut the head of the Okada rider in the attempt to snatch the new motorcycle bought by the deceased. Exhibits recovered included one Itel Android phone and a motorcycle. Speaking of the tragic incident, the police commissioner said a report was received from the resident of Asulere community, Okeoyi, Ilorin, Kwara State, that 3 men, namely Abdurrashid Olasheo, Ismail, Mohammed, and others arrived at Okeoyi Police Division recovery of a headless stream within the area, and upon receiving the report, detectives were swiftly dispatched to the scene. Photographic evidence was captured, revealing a significant mark of violence around the neck, indicating the head was severed. He also said the body was subsequently evacuated and deposited at the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital morgue pending an autopsy, and also revealed that the deceased's phone was also found on him. FCT Customary Court in Dutse, Abuja has appealed to the Nigerian Bar Association to facilitate the renovation of its court complex, which was damaged by vandalism during the 2020 EndSARS protest. The president of the court, Aderinto Adesoji, made the appeal during a resumed hearing in the divorce case between petitioner Chiwendu Nwadi and her husband, Emeka Nwadi, in Ushafa, Abuja, arguing that the Dutse Customary Court has been using the court in Ushafa for its destruction of its facilities in 2020. The Ushafa Customary Court, which owns the facility, holds sittings on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, while the Dutse Court holds its sittings on Tuesdays, Thursdays. Adding that Dutse and Ushafa are communities within Bari Area Council in the nation's capital, located approximately 17 kilometers apart. Addressing the lawyers in the divorce case who were struggling to agree on a date for the next hearing, the president of the court noted as a scheduling conflict in a recurrent challenge in cases before the court. According to him, the limited availability of sittings only twice a week has severely impacted the timely dispensation of justice, stressing that many cases before the court involve family matters. FCT administration says revenues raised through taxes is enough for FCT infrastructure and many other social amenities. Confirmed an inspection of 11.10 kilometers road at Kuje Highway and Kuje Gwagwalada Road.
It's a matter of strategy, and it's a matter of being prudent and its available resources. No government, no institution can say they will have all the required resources to be able to carry out every service or services. What is important to us is that, yes, we try to make sure people pay their taxes. One thing I can tell you about people or Nigerians is that when they see that the taxes they pay are being utilized, they reciprocate by making sure they pay their taxes. But when they see that the taxes they pay and they are saying nothing about what we're done with it, they are reluctant to pay. We're trying as much as we can to continue to increase our IGR. It is our IGR that we are using to pay. There's no other any money coming from anywhere. And again, we restrict on the number of projects and make sure that we have gone far before awarding other projects. And again, that the funding is available so that it will not be an abandoned project or projects. So it's not that we have so much money, it's just that we're trying to prudently manage what we have and apply it to the best for the best interest of our people.
BK also expressed satisfaction on the work of the contractors handling the two-road project and appealed to Kuje residents to remain patient.
As we came in from the airport to the Kuje community, you can see the work is going on very well as expected by Arab contractors. And they are promised by the end of this year, 2024, they will have finished everything pertaining to earthwork. Even though on some sections of the road, they've put in a macadam before they will apply the binding and wearing course. So you can see the work is moving up very, very in a fast, the fastest we think we should have. And then we're now in the Kuje, where you have they call it the garage road or whatever, but the dualization. We believe that by this December, the contractor, the Gilmore Engineering, would have handed over latest by the end of this December. So as promised, Nobody was working on this road, nobody so. And as the president talk said, this one that they need hope. All of you have lost hope on this road before, you know. But your hope has come back, isn't it? So all I pray is if we should continue to support the contractors so that before the end of this year we will have commissioned this road.
Nigerian police force of the Sokoto State Command has confirmed the presence of an armed Islamic group called Lakurawas in about 5 local government areas of the state. The spokesman of the command, Ahmed Rufai, said the group is armed with sophisticated weapons and has been operating Gudu, Tangaza, Binji, Ileya, and other local government areas to impose its beliefs on the populace. While the Sokoto state government has earlier expressed concern over the emergence of another criminal group in the state. The Deputy Governor, Alhaji Idris Mohammed Gobar, who disclosed this while receiving participants of Course 33 of the National Defense College, Abuja, who were on the study bandits, have attacked communities in Wanke, Neguse, the capital of Zamfara State, and adopted about 100 citizens, and a chief imam was among the victims adopted. Survivors said the affected communities were under siege and people were migrating for fear of further attacks, adding that near Sabonlai, over 50 persons were taken away, and near Dagonhai,
labor standards, measurement, occupational safety and health, social security and cooperative trade unions, and industrial relations, conflict resolutions among stakeholders in labor sectors, etc. The Labor Ministry, apart from the headquarters, has offices in the 36 states and 6 geopolitical zones in the country. The ministry has developed labor employment empowerment program called LEAP as part of the renewed hope agenda of this administration to create at least 2.5 million jobs for the women and youth. The program will be formally launched by the President anytime from now. The renewed hope agenda of Mr. President is bring to bear, where we decided to enter into a covenant relationship with Nigeria, where Labor Ministry will be a brand new Labor Ministry.
I want to assure you that I'm here to work with you. With your support and cooperation, we are going to move this ministry forward. The major schedule of this ministry is to ensure harmonious working relationship between workers and employers of government and private organizations. From what I have seen here, I believe we are equal to the task. I want to assure Nigerians that we are going to continue to ensure that peace is maintained in every nook and corner of this country as far as labor matters are concerned. What is important is for us to carry everybody along, to try as much as possible to listen to all labor organizations, to all labor issues, so that together we try to solve and resolve all issues that are outstanding. Together, we try to resolve all issues, not only resolving issues, try to enhance the welfare, the well-being, and the support and cooperation of all workers in this country. We have the capacity, we have the determination. Mr. President is committed to ensuring that every worker is very happy, and
serving Nigerians and attending the Atlantic Television Network News, Abuja.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, federal government's initiative, which he said is designed to take use of the streets. Represented by Deputy Governor, 689 youths were trained across 29 different. Originally, the bill was set for November 7, and the session was slated to take place at the National Assembly Library. And Shilokun, representing APC in Lagos, has the overriding intent to enact legislation that sought to contribute to the country's security, with a special focus on the country's maritime interests and regional coastal security, as well as ensure adherence to global norms and standards as they relate to maritime security. A statement issued by Committee Clerk Dauda Bokar on Thursday cited the recent passing of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Labaja, as the primary reason for the delay. Labaja died on Tuesday night at the age of 56. This marks the second postponement of the hearing, which was previously scheduled for Wednesday, November 5. House of Representatives has expressed readiness to engage tax experts to brief it on the implications of the tax reform in Abuja. Expressed the readiness of the House to interface with Nigerians on the issue in town hall engagement. This is coming after the Federal Executive Council recently Revenue Service and simplified financial obligations for businesses and citizens, arguing that the reforms resulted from a month-long review of existing tax laws by the Taiwo Oyedele-led committee inaugurated in August 2023. The committee's recommendations were harmonized into 4 executive bills, which were transmitted to the National Assembly in September 2024, while the 36 state governors called for the withdrawal of the bills to allow room for more consultations. And this was sequel to the earlier position by 19 northern state governors who rejected the bill on the ground that it was against the interests of the North and the state governments. Speaking on behalf of his colleagues after the 114th National Economic Council meeting, presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde said the council members agreed that the bills be withdrawn as some sections of the country were uncomfortable with some of its contents. House of Representatives Committee on University Education has warned the management of Nigerian universities against frustrating both undergraduate and postgraduate students over project thesis, dissertation and other research-related issues. Chairman House Committee on University Education Abubakar Hassan Folata gave the warning following the allegation that a lecturer at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, died of depression due to his inability to complete in Abu Zaria this week. Muazu Mohammed Ahmed, a lecturer at the English Language Department of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, died a few months ago due to alleged depression suffered at the hands of his PhD supervisor. According to the allegation, he was admitted for PhD in 2011, and 13 years later, he was unable to complete the study. Folata told Professor Kabiru Bala, Vice Chancellor Abu Zaria, that the management of the school should ensure that supervisors alleged to supervise both undergraduate and postgraduate students' research work do not harass, intimidate, and frustrate them. And also appeal to the management of other universities in the country to ensure students graduate at the appropriate time for and recruitment. Inspector General of Police Kaide Betoko has ordered officers and men of Nigeria Police Force to wear black bands for a 7-day mourning period in honor of the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Labaja. The police boss gave the directive in a statement issued on Thursday by the Force Public Relations Officer, Muyiwa Dejobi, that the directive is to honor Labaja, who showed gallantry, dedication and passion in the fight against insurgency in the country during his lifetime. This is coming after the late Army Chief, appointed by President Bola Tinubu on June 19, 2023, died on Tuesday at the age of 56, a night after a prolonged illness. And Following his death, President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday directed that Nigeria's national flags be flown at half-mast for has identified a new terror group operating in Kebbi and Sokoto states, and the military is monitoring the group's activities and developing strategies to counter any threat to national security. This was made known on Thursday in Zagazola, Makama, a late ex-handle, citing a statement by Major General Edward Buba, Director of Defense, raising security concerns in the northwestern region of the country, stressing that Buba linked the emergence of the group to political instability in Mali and Niger, which he said had fueled the spread of extremist elements into Nigeria. In the meantime, Defense Headquarters says troops of Operation Delta Safe destroyed about 216 illegal refining sites across the Niger Delta region in October. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, who disclosed this while briefing newsmen on the operations of the military in Abuja, said the troops also destroyed 195 wooden boats as well as recovered 30 vehicles and 429 assorted ammunition during the period. He said the troops impounded 3.2 million liters of crude oil, 763,000 1,860 liters of automated gas oil and 12,690 liters of premium motor spirits, adding that the operations have progressively increased the nation's daily crude oil production to over 1.5 million barrels per day. Buba also said troops of Operation Udoka in the southeast conducted offensive operations against indigenous people of Biafra and its security wing. The Israel ended 55 suspects and rescued 35 kidnapped hostages. Independent Broadcaster Association Nigeria Board of Trustees, the ESCO and standing committees have commenced the engagement of stakeholders on the implementation of IBAN white paper on some of the industry issues. The Independent Broadcasting Association Nigeria disclosed this in a communique after its 2024 annual general meeting of October 30th at the Channels Television on addressing delayed payments from advertising agencies to ensure timely cash flow for broadcast media houses, as well as the need for a fairer commission structure towards eliminating the current fixed volume discount in media agency commission. On equal treatment, the group plans to ensure equitable treatment to serious indigenous content broadcasters by all client advertisers as well as rating agencies regardless of their origin and location in order to foster a healthy and competitive broadcast media environment in the various host communities in Nigeria. IBAN also called for the greater participation in the development and IT training of the new digital accurate and reliable viewership data by ARCON and the service provider, adding that the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria should effectively supervise broadcast media advertising contracts that will ensure transparency and accountability. The group equally spoke on strategic partnerships by collaborating with the Bank of Industry to secure favorable financing options for members, as well as addressing critical challenges such as power supply, regulatory advocacy, engaging with the National Broadcasting Commission to expedite the digital switch over process through clear policies and objectives. The AGM featured a distinguished panel of industry leaders who shared their insights and perspectives. Dr. John Momo, in his capacity as board chairman, who stressed on the importance of adapting to the combating illegal migration in Libya's southern region with support from the United Nations International Organization for Migration. The operation, which took place at Sabah International Airport, aimed to help stranded Nigerians return to their home country safely. The news was shared on the X account of Migrant Rescue Watch, confirming that the migrants were flown back to Nigeria from the southern Libyan city of Sabah, and the repatriation efforts during allegedly abandoned her in Libya. Among his appeal had pointed out the difficulties faced by many migrants who leave Nigeria for North Africa in search of better opportunities but end up stranded in precarious conditions, while the Nigerians Diaspora Commission spokesperson Abdurrahman Balogun advised Omomi to approach the Nigerian embassy in Libya for immediate assistance. joint annual review in Abuja, the governor said there have been some improvements in health indicators, particularly in reducing under 5 and infant across all 36 states, and ensured that key stakeholders were aligned in sector-wide groups, and reiterated the commitment of the NGF to the intent of the Health Sector Compact and improving the health sector. Speaking at the event with the theme "It's for All of Us, Accelerating Our Health Sector Reforms Together," the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, urged Nigerians to hold the federal, state and local governments accountable for improved quality health and basic services, adding that apart from the State of Health report, the Health Vulnerability and Adaptation report will also be launched to address the consequences of climate change and health. He also said the ministry had achieved 31 out of 41 key performance indicators across the presidential commitments and was on course to surpass the targets for the 2024, while 45 billion naira had been disbursed directly to the primary health care centers in the country through the Basic Health Care Provision Fund. And now to some business reports. Of 819 young Nigerians to be trained